So my NC Miata is being built into a track car, and on a track car, knowing what is happening with the engine is critical to avoiding costly damage. From factory, the NC Miata doesn't come with any meaningful oil temperature or pressure gauges, so we're going to install the Rotarytronics system with a Bosch sensor to have a digital readout of all temperatures and pressures in real time, which should be an invaluable tool to the track. I'm pretty excited to get this done, so let's get to it. The first major step is getting the gauge cluster out of the car. This will let us install a screen for sensor outputs and wire the screen into the cluster. Now with the gauge cluster out, it's time to pull it apart, mount the screen, and make a channel for the wires. After this, there's a total of 9 soldering connections needed. This is for power, ground, signals, and wiring into the potentiometer that controls dashboard brightness. This allows the screen to have a dimming feature that is tied to the rest of the interior lights. Once all this is attached, the gauge cluster can be neatly reassembled. Now it's time to drain the oil from the car to make the sensor install cleaner. The Bosch sensor will be going into the factory port for the oil pressure switch, so we can use a long extension to remove the factory pressure switch, then screw in an adapter and the Bosch sensor into its place. Then we can refill with new oil. With the sensor installed, it's time to create a wiring path from the sensor to the dashboard. I'm going to go up the side of the engine, over through the hood latch release grommet, then we can actually just go right up the back of the dashboard, plug the sensor into the cluster port that we made, and reinstall the entire cluster. Here it is, all finished. This took about 4 hours total and looks great. We now have a real reading of coolant and oil temps with oil pressure, so I'll know right away if anything goes wrong on track. It also dims with the dashboard lights and as a whole looks really great. That's all for today's episode of the NC Miata track build. All that's left now is just a roll bar, and then we have our first testing sessions at both Soldering and the firm. Subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching and have a great day.